So basically, my path started 10 years ago this month, as a matter of fact, where I woke up with left arm pain, and that led to the diagnosis of fairly significant heart disease. So heart disease is rampant in my family, and you know, when you're in medical school, you're taught about genetic determinism, that the gene determines your future, which is not the truth. It's so far from the truth, it's incredible. So, you know, I started down this pathway 10 years ago, and within a short period of time, my heart disease was reversed. Actually, within 6 months, I went from having an abnormal stress test to a normal stress test. And fast forward 2 years after that, I played college football, and I've had 11 knee surgeries from college football. And so, you know, my body just hurt. And so in my 30s, I was wondering, I don't know if I can go on much longer because everything hurt. My neck, my back, my joints. And I got to the point where I needed a knee replacement. So I called my cardiologist, said, I'm going to have a knee replacement. He goes, well, if I do anything, or we need to do another arteriogram. If I see anything, we're going to stent it. And so I'm not making this up, this sounds fake, but literally the next day at lunch, my phone made a noise. I pull it out, and it's a message from Forks Over Knives from Facebook. And it says, new meta-analysis reveals stenting asymptomatic heart disease just increases your risk of having a heart attack.
Wow.
So I called my wife and said, you know, I think I got a message from God. That's never happened before or since. And so she called Dr. Esselstyn, and he didn't know me from Adam, but he returned my phone call, and we spent about 45 minutes on the phone. He convinced me not to have another arteriogram. He starts spouting off all this information about how many people die from just having arteriograms and all this stuff. So he said, just sign a release. And so I called the anesthesiologist that was going to be putting me to sleep and said, I'm not having cardiac clearance, I'll just sign a release. And so I took him a copy of Dr. Essie's book, and then 2 months after having my knee replacement, we went to Cleveland to meet him. And since that time, we've interacted on a number of occasions. And so what we do today, we have seminars monthly in Oklahoma City, where it's about a 3-hour seminar where I present kind of the science, and then my wife presents actually how to do it. And we have a monthly support group meeting at a restaurant that cooks plant-based for that meeting. Getting chefs to cook without adding oil is almost impossible. I mean, they just can't fathom. How do you do that? So it's been a continual struggle trying to get food the way we want it. We also have a radio show that we do. You can't really listen to it on the radio because it's on an AM station. But the radio show is rebroadcast on our website, PlantbasedOKC. And my wife shares on Facebook, PlantbasedOKC. So she posts a lot of recipes. But you know, we're building a community in Oklahoma City of like-minded people. And it's amazing, you know, Oklahoma is one of the worst states for health that there is. We're consistently in the bottom 5 states, no matter what kind of health parameter you look at. Texas is healthier than Oklahoma. Now that's saying a lot, because I used to live in San Antonio. And so I know the state of health down here too. But, you know, it's because what we eat. And, you know, genetics plays a small role in it, but what you really learn from your family is how to eat. And I think that's the big connection, because, you know, I grew up eating food the way my mother cooked it, and it had to be fried. If it was a vegetable, it had to have cheese. I don't think I ever ate broccoli without cheese sauce on it. And so it's been a process of learning that basically, when we first started, you know, we spent all this time reading labels. we've refined our diet to where we really don't eat much that has a label on it. And so if you don't eat much that has a label on it, you don't have to spend all that time reading the ingredients. Broccoli doesn't come with a label, cabbage doesn't come with a label. And so in September, I'm speaking at the International Plant-Based Healthcare Conference on the rotator cuff in nutrition. I'm an orthopedic surgeon, so I subspecialize in treating people with shoulder problems. The father of shoulder surgery is basically the father of medicine, Hippocrates, born in 460 BC and died in 370. He describes 7 different ways to reduce a dislocated shoulder, one of which is still the most common way a shoulder is reduced on the field of athletic competition. And he's had a number of sayings attributed to him, but he says, in effect, there are 2 things: to know and to believe one knows. To know is science, to believe one knows is ignorance, and I say that's insanity. I believed I knew what was healthy, but in reality, medical doctors are not taught anything about nutrition, anything. And so what I had gathered from media and everything, I thought we were eating a healthy diet, and we thought we were eating a Mediterranean type diet. In reality, that thinking process almost killed me, but luckily I had a transformative moment where I was faced with triple bypass surgery. I'd come in contact with Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease by Dr. Esselstyn, and when I called my cardiologist and said, I'm not going to have surgery, he was convinced I was going to die, and it scared him to death. And after about 6 months, then he was convinced that, you're going to be doing talks on this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, right. So maybe he is a fortune teller, I don't know. But, we still try to really support plant-based nutrition. It's the healthiest way for all humans to eat. It's also the healthiest way for our earth. It's estimated that if everybody ate meat the way we do in the United States, that we'd need 3 Earths to produce that much meat. And water, we're running out of water. And when it takes 7,000 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of beef, that's not sustainable. And so I think we're going to be forced to make a change. And it's going to occur on a grassroots level. It's never going to come from Washington. I think that is a lost cause. And so we're out here just trying to, present the message.